right, so we are ready to go.
Awesome.
We can start the countdown whenever you're ready.
Great. So hello, everybody. I'm Philosoraptor42. This is Dragon Warrior 3. This is definitely the first time I've run this at a Midwest Speedfest event. I totally didn't run this at Midwest Speedfest and mess up. So we're going to actually get revenge on it and complete the game this time. So this is the any percent speed run. It is fully RNG manipulated and utilizes a glitch about halfway through to skip a large portion of the game. And I will kind of explain that a little bit as I'm doing it, and then mostly afterwards I will go into more of the specifics of it. So we're going to get started here. The game audio is a little loud in my ear. If you could turn that down. Cool, that's good. All right, so first we're going to erase this file because we don't need it anymore. And then we're going to get our stuff started here. So we're naming our hero R for RNG purposes. And so we're ready to go. Everybody else ready? Yeah! All right, so here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go! So it's R's 16th birthday, and so of course that means R is more than ready to take on the important task of saving the world. And so we're going to get to go see the king now that we're 16. I guess it's just a thing you do. So this is, like I said, an RNG manipulated run. Step count is super important, and it actually has 2 variations throughout this run, and the variation we have to do at the beginning is actually harder than the end. So at the beginning, the step route is based on the character's animations. So if you watch their feet movement, that's an animation there. And so even standing still with their feet moving is costing steps based on the animation. So at the beginning of the game, I have to do step route based on the character's walking animation. And then at the end of the game, it's just based on tile movement, which is a little bit easier. So the beginning is a lot more unforgiving. So we just got to the king. The king says, okay, yeah, you can follow in the footsteps of your dad. Go beat Baramos. Form a party. Here's $50. Let's all baby rage for $50. Because the king wants us to save the world and gives us $50, I feel like we're getting a little bit shortchanged, but that's just me. I'm going to show you how far $50 goes in the world of Dragon Warrior 3. So we're going to come over here to the tool shop vendor. And we're going to buy 1 wing of the wyvern. And we're going to buy 2 wings of the wyvern. And the $50 is gone. So now we're going to come up here to the pub, because this is where we're going to recruit our peoples. So we're going to go upstairs, and upstairs is where you actually can create your own people, which is what we're going to do here. So we're going to say yes. So what we're going to do is make E. E is going to be our pilgrim for the run. Okay, stats look good. And then we're going to make 1 more character. And we're going to make O, and O is going to be our wizard for the run. Stats look good. All right. So now we're going to go back downstairs. And we're going to come here, and we're going to add some people. It's going to do a lot of saving to do a lot of this stuff. So we're going to add Brindar. Brindar is a soldier that the game pre-generated for me. Brindar is kind of the cornerstone to this run, which is kind of funny. Then we're going to add E the Pilgrim. And then we're going to add O the Wizard. Now we got a full party. And now we're going to head on out. Now we're going to leave out this side because we've got that NPC right there in the way. We're going to go ahead and head on out. But we're going to quickly stop, because what we're going to do is close your eyes. This is a family stream. We're just going to make the wizard naked real quick. And then we're going to get into this fight with the slime who's bewildered at our presence. And then we're going to do a little bit of fighting amongst ourselves, literally. And so what we're actually doing here is we're killing E and O. So O's dead. E's dead. And we don't need this fight anymore, so we're going to run away. And so what we're going to do is now is... so we got these two little cute ghosts in our party. We're going to come back here. And Louisa here is going to be totally okay with us leaving ghosts to haunt her establishment. She's just going to take care of these ghosts for us, no big deal. Remember them for later. So now we don't have a full party, so we're going to fix that. We're going to add pre-generated Wizard Harley to the party. And we are going to add pre-generated Pilgrim Petrus to the party. And then we're going to reset the game. So now what we're going to do is we're going to load our seed lock file. We do that by changing the message speed of file 2 from 5 to 5 and reloading the game. The seed lock file is going to make our RNG predictable for the next very large portion of the game. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to reform our party to put Harley in second place. Then we are going to wing ourselves out of town. So what I just did there, I stopped with our Pilgrim Petrus on the bridge and waited for 16 of his animation steps to happen. And what that did was advance the RNG enough that I missed an encounter, which is important for a few reasons, one of which is encounters are slow, so we don't want them. This is a speedrun, we gotta go fast, kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And another reason is because that particular encounter, because of our RNG seed lock, would have, had I gotten into it, would have attempted to have added infinite monsters to the encounter, and would have crashed the game. Because, you know, the NES can't handle infinite monsters in a fight. Imagine that. So because of seed lock, most of the monsters are pretty much just going to be taking lunch breaks when we go places, so we're just going to be, like, leisurely strolling through this tower. And that's pretty much like how a lot of it's going to be. We're going to be leisurely strolling through things a lot. But if we make many movement mistakes, then that's going to be bad, unfortunately. But we are almost done with this tower, which is good. Here we are, final floor of the tower. So we're going to come up here, we're going to talk to this guy. And he's going to give me a key just because. So we're going to go ahead and leave, and we're going to use it to open this door here. And then we're going to take the fastest way out of here, which is just to jump off the side of the tower, because no big deal. We're fine. And we're going to wing back to town, because we're on an island and we can't really go anywhere. And then to advance the RNG some more, I'm going to cast Heal with our Pilgrim. And that's going to also skip an encounter that I would have gotten. And now we're going to move on to the very first boss of this speedrun, the Town of Reeve. And it is the first boss because it is very easy to make mistakes in here. So we're going to sell some stuff. We're going to sell Brindar's Club. This is a safety measure because I need a little bit more money for a safety thing later. Then we're going to sell Brindar's leather armor, which we normally do anyway. Brindar doesn't need anything. Don't worry. Then we're going to sell Petrus's club, which we would normally do. That's going to give us some money. And then we're going to go ahead and talk to him again so we can buy stuff. So we're going to buy a Wing of the Wyvern and give it to Harley. That's normal. We're going to buy another Wing of the Wyvern and give it to Harley. That's the safety thing for later. And then we're going to buy 2 medical herbs for R. So medical herbs are kind of neat. Medical herbs advance RNG the same amount as the heal spell. So due to the constraints of Petrus's MP, we'll be using a medical herb to advance RNG as well. So we're going to open this door. We're going to go in here. And this guy's going to give us a magic ball, because why not? Then we're going to leave. That room is actually pretty difficult when you're first starting out, because bumping into walls, unless you're opening the menu immediately after, is bad. And it kills your step count. So we're going to buy a leather helmet. And we're going to give it to Petrus. And that's important for later. And now we're leaving. And we have completed the first boss of the game, the Town of Reeve. So off we go. So now our next stop is the cave to Romilly, and that is coming up momentarily. It's actually not that shrine, but it's this random lake-looking thing right here. So one of the things we're going to do real quick, we're going to go into the menu, and we're going to go to Petrus, and we're going to transfer his Wayfarer's Clothes to himself. And that seems like a silly thing to do, but it's actually pretty important. Because when you transfer an item from a character to themselves, it actually puts that item on the bottom of their inventory. And so what that did in Petrus's case is it moved his leather helmet to the top of his inventory, which is important for later. So we're going to use the magic ball here, and we're going to make the screen a little bit hard to look at for a second while we blow this wall open. So the magic ball, you know, probably a bomb, whatever. So we're going to do a little bit of walking around this cave too, without really having much to do with encounters. And there actually will be a couple of spots where encounters would happen, and I'm going to avoid them by being clever. And so the first one's going to be on the next screen. So I'm going to stop here, and this is actually the square I would have gotten the encounter on, but I opened the menu before I got it, cast heal, advanced the RNG past the encounter, and missed it. And then here, I would be getting an encounter on the transition of this screen, so by doing this little jig here, I missed the encounter too. And that's all the encounters I would have encountered here. And I said encounter a lot. So I'm coming up on a point which will be kind of like the more rough part of this beginning with the with how important the step count is. That can be kind of easy to mess up. So we get to go through this little portal and have this little cool screen effect, which is pretty cool for the NES days. And look at that, we're in a completely different place. I bumped into the wall, but it's okay because I went into the menu. So we'll open the door, go up the stairs, leave out of here. There's Romilly. Wave goodbye to Romilly. So we're going to come up here. And so we need 2 uses of heal at this point to advance the RNG. And because Petrus only has enough MP for 1 more, we're going to use an herb instead. And then use Petrus's last heal. And then wait for 9 steps. And then keep going. And that advanced the RNG in a way we wanted it to. Now we're going to enter the town of Knave here, just as it gets dark. And this is important because there's a day and night cycle in this game, and much like real life, people go to bed at night. Except for the shopkeeper, or the, I should say the innkeeper. He's a robot. But the tool shop owner is asleep in his bed, as you see there, so we can borrow his poison needle, because he doesn't need it right now. He's asleep. And we're going to head on out. And now I actually want to get into an encounter for once, so we're going to walk it off until we get to an encounter. And I actually did those pauses on purpose to help make sure I get the encounter I want. So walking around these mountains is actually perfect to get to the encounter and actually in the area I want it to. But it's also dangerous because if I accidentally misstep and bump into the mountains, it's over and I have to start over. Or at least start back at where I had to go through the tower and do all this stuff again, and that's annoying. So I don't want to do that. So we're going to get the encounter right there. And it is the encounter I want. So first we're going to parry, then we're going to go back and then fight, and then parry with everybody else. So this game, so Brindar's numb, that's important, remember that. So this game has this cool little glitch where if somebody if somebody uses parry and then you can back to their turn again, they maintain the parry even if you do something different. So you can take less damage and still attack. So R is dead, which is what we wanted. Petrus is dead, and then Harley's going to peace out. And we're back to Eliahan. So I'm doing this just to give myself a breather. Now we go here, wait for her to move, and then keep going. And so what I'm doing is manipulating the RNG to keep numb on Brindar, which we have, until I get here. Okay. I messed up, but that's fine. So we're going to leave. So I'm going to make a safety save. And so to do that, I'm going to leave Brindar here. And then I'm going to reset the game again. And now with Brendar left, that made a save. And so what I'm going to do is copy it to slot 3 to make the safety save. Basically, that way if I mess up, I can recopy the slot back. And this is the reason I bought the extra Wing of the Wyvern, is because instead of walking out of the castle, that's slow. We're just going to, oops, we're just going to, good grief, wing out of here. And then go back in. So now I've got 2 ghosts and Harley. So we're going to come back here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Brendar back. And the reason I have Brendar, or I'm adding Brendar back, is because he's numb. And so in your casual play, it's pretty much impossible to have a numbed character get to a save spot. And the reason for that is because numb has a chance of wearing off as you walk around. So the game actually kind of doesn't know what to do with a numbed character and doesn't do some certain checks. So I can actually leave Brendar, and now that he's the last living character, and it's going to let me do it. So now I have 2 ghosts in the party, which it shouldn't let you do normally. And so now that I've got 2 ghosts in the party, I'm going to add 2 more ghosts to the party. And so we're going to have just a party full of ghosts. And this is going to kind of freak the game out. And the game is not going to know what to do with me having 4 dead people in the party with no HP. So the overworld's going to act weird, and I'm going to perform a glitch. And I will kind of be explaining it as I do it a little bit. Actually, I'll be showing you what I'm doing as I do it. So first off, I'm going to explain how the glitch works afterwards when I get to a point where I can do it without making mistakes. So we're going to unequip his Cypress Stick, and then I'm going to do the first part of the glitch here. Okay, so when I was taking damage there, that was doing stuff. So for instance, the leather helmet's now a turban in Petrus's inventory, and the Cypress Stick turned into 2 black ravens, and then the top black raven turned into a green orb, which is what I wanted. So now I'm going to do another thing. Okay, this time some other stuff happened. We now have a golden crown on Petrus and a rainbow drop on E, or on O rather. So with R, I'm going to take his thieves key, give it to O. I'm going to take his medical herb, his last medical herb, give it to O. And I'm going to give E's club to Petrus. And then because I want to maintain this rainbow drop, I'm going to give it to R. Okay, now we're going to do our next part of the glitch. Okay, so so we have some random glitches that can happen. I'm hoping to get some random ones to happen to R's top item, but it's not happening right now. So now we've got a Shield of Heroes here, and a red orb here. So Shield of Heroes we want to keep, so we're giving that to R. And we're going to keep going. Okay, finally, the copper sword turned into a Cypress Stick, so we're wanting to advance this a little bit. So now we have a sacred robe here, and we have a sphere of light. We want to keep the sphere of light, so we're giving that to R now. And we're going to do this again. So still to have the Cypress Stick, we have the Armor of Radiance and the Vase of Drought. Okay. So now we're going to actually move E into the second slot in place of Petrus. And we're going to do the very first glitch again. Okay, so hopefully we still have a... Oh, dang it, I was hoping to get a Black Raven by now. Okay. So what we're going to do... So now we got the Water Flying Cloth and the Wizard's Ring. So Water Flying Cloth is going to O. Wizard's Ring is going to R. And to kind of move things along a little bit, we're going to give R's Cypress Stick to E. And then we're going to do... Let me see where we're at. Medical Orb, okay. Alright. We're going to do a little bit of glitching like this now, so... Alright. Okay, let's do something a little bit different, so I would only advance his item once. So we got 2 Black Ravens, I only needed 1. So I'm going to transfer that to R. And then I'm going to drop this one. And so now I have that leather armor has stayed, so what I'm going to have to do now, and we got the strength seed there, is I'm going to have to move, oops, not search, sorry, hit the wrong button. I'm going to have to move R into the second slot temporarily to force some inventory advancement here. So now we're going to go back out and do another glitch. Alright, so what that should have done, and he got a stick slime, that's fine. So we've got Dragon Killer, and we've got the magic key. So I have to do one more glitch to be done, so this will be good. So we'll go out. And that's all we needed to do for that. And now, Sword of Kings. Okay, that's good. So now what we're going to do is put R back in front's position. So E has a blue orb, which is a little unfortunate because I can't just drop it. So I'm going to have to go discard it because I don't really want it in his inventory. So I'm going to go, or not discard it, but I'm going to have to go leave it at the vault. And the reason I have to do that is because the blue orb is actually a key item. So it won't let me drop it. So now we're done. I'm gonna go over everything once real quick just to make sure I have everything. So Sword of Kings, Black Raven, Armor of Radiance, Magic Key. Yep, that all looks good. And another thing I did that I didn't show you is E and Petra should now all have this 3rd page of spells with Heal All and Defeat and stuff. So E has it. Oops. Petrus has it, so we're good. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and come here and we're going to sell this Black Raven. And it's going to give me a lot of money, 58,500. And that's all we have to sell there. So we're going to buy a Wing of the Wyvern, and that's going to go to E. And we're going to buy 2 medical herbs for E, Petrus, and O. So that's 2 for E. That's Petrus. There's 1. That's 2 for Petrus. And this will be 2 for O. Alright, so that's all the purchasing we have to do there. So now what we're going to do, we're done with the glitch. So we're going to go and go ahead and resurrect all our characters. And resurrecting all our characters will actually remove the glitch. Like, remove the glitching from happening. It was only doing it because it didn't know what to do with dead people. Alright, give Petrus back to life. And so selling the Black Raven for all that money is another safety measure. So part of the glitch, there's some randomness that can happen in the glitch. One of the things it can do that you won't necessarily always know about is that it can reduce the max HP of the person in slot 2 in the party. so both Petrus and E have a threshold of of how much that can happen to them. If it happens to R at all, since I had to put R in the second slot, then I have to do the glitch over again, because R cannot lose any HP, because he's already going to have like the best stuff in the game for him. So there's no way to like increase his defense at all. So I'm going to really quick eyeball here. We're good. Actually, nobody lost any HP. That's good. So we're going to talk to Louisa, and we're going to leave a member just to get the save. So right now that we're here, it's saved. We're going to reset. We didn't actually leave anybody. Just a quick way to get a save game going. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to erase the backup save and reset again. And we're going to create a quest in log 3 named YPP. Female with message speed 3, and once that is generated, we're going to reset. And that is because this is going to be another RNG file that we're going to go ahead and load by doing this, changing the message speed, and then loading our file. And we're doing that because the seed lock file is very bad for stat increases, and we need to gain some levels. And this is going to be optimal for us with this file. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to give the poison needle to O. Then we're going to equip Petrus with this club we've got. And we're going to equip O with the poison needle and the water flying cloth. And then we're going to use E's Wing of the Wyvern to go to, what's this? Rimolder, that we've never been to. That was another thing I did with the glitch. And then we're going to just walk some circles around Rimolder for a minute. And get into this fight here. It's going to be with 3 Metal Babbles, and we're going to surprise attack them. So we're going to fight, cast heal, fight, and fight. And then what happened is E's going to cast heal, Petrus is going to crit and kill one, O's going to hit one, the poison needle's going to do its instant kill attack. And then we're going to try and run, fail, and it's going to run. And we're going to get all this XP and some levels. So I'm going to kind of quickly talk about the glitch, and if we have some donations, I'll let you read some of those off. So as I had said, the game kind of doesn't know what to do about having all these dead people in the party. So what happens is any tile on the overworld that's not a castle or a town tile ends up becoming a damage tile. And then when you step on the damage tile, the game doesn't know how to do negative numbers. So instead of removing HP from party members when you take damage, it just pulls that code from somewhere else. And it does it based on where you are in the music when you take the damage. So we can utilize that to manipulate things we want. Like, so the bulk of what we do is change the inventory of the party members that are in slot 2 and 4. And it's always the top inventory slot we manipulate. And so as that's how I was getting all those things and then shuffling them around and whatnot. We also used it to allow us to put the third page of Pilgrim spells into E and Petrus's spell book, because we won't gain enough levels to get all those normally, and some of them are very useful. And then we also used it to glitch Rimolder into the return list, so that we could get over here. And because the end of the game is right by this area, which is very handy as well. So that's basically more or less what we did there. And then of course there's some randomness based on how long you hold buttons and stuff like that that can cause things to happen, like that max HP glitch that I was talking about, and also the character in slot 1's inventory actually changing as well. So this is just going to be leveling up for a little bit. R is going to get up to level 17, which we just hit, and then E, Petrus, and O are all going to get to level 18, so great time for donations.
We have just one. It is $11 from Skip McLazy. There is no comment associated with this donation, but we thank you anyway.
Awesome, thank you very much. Hope you guys are enjoying the run. Unfortunately, you don't get out of some sort of leveling in a speedrun. Normally in an RPG speedrun, there's a lot of grinding involved. You walk back and forth, you fight monsters, you gain a little bit of experience here, rinse, repeat, you gain a few levels. In this run, we fight one group of Metal Babbles and gain 98% of our levels out of it. So rather than walking back and forth and fighting things for 15 minutes, we level up for 8.5 minutes or so. So had E or Petrus lost too much of their max HP, that's why I got the Black Raven to sell. Here in Remolder, the weapon and armor shop sells something called magic armor, and had they lost too much HP from the max HP glitch, I could have gone and bought magic armor for them, and in turn, which would have made them survivable through the rest of the game. Like I said, with R we can't do that. So if R loses any, it's pretty much reset and redo, because he's already got everything. As like the armor of Radiance is his best armor, the Shield of Heroes is his best shield, the Sword of Kings is his best sword, but it's not defense anyway, so it doesn't matter. So basically, the armor of Radiance and the Shield of Heroes are already the top end things for him. So there's nothing better to get to help keep him alive for endgame. And you're gonna see just how close it gets cut when we get to Zoma. So we don't even fight Baramos, so I guess the King's $50 is apropos, because he gave us $50 to fight Baramos, and we're not going to do it, because he only gave us $50, and that doesn't pay for killing Baramos. Gotta make the money, right?
Can we squeeze in another donation?
Absolutely.
All right. 1 second. $20 from Bungie to the Tree, who says, "Hey Raptor, love to see you piloting the REO Petrus wagon again. Let's hope this goes better than Broken Collarbone percent."
He's talking about that time I totally didn't run this for Midwest Speedfest with my broken collarbone in my arm and a sling.
You were a trooper for that, though.
It is true, but I'm not going to blame that for what happened. That was me missing one step of the glitch somewhere. But we're actually going to finish it this time, so we've got R and E leveled up. Petrus coming up next. Getting his levels on. The good news is all I have to do is just sit here and hold A, so it's not like, you know, I have to mash it up or anything like that. So I hope you guys like a little bit of the old school. I know this tends to be a marathon that has a lot of more modern game runners, but I like to keep it in the 8 and 16-bit era. I'm also even wearing the Metal Slime, Metal Babble shirt in honor of this speedrun. Although we don't encounter any Metal Slimes in this speedrun, just the Babbles that we just fought. So Petrus is almost done with the leveling process here. One more level to go for Petrus, and he's ready to go. So another kind of goofy thing that can happen with the glitch too, which I didn't have to encounter, is that like if you accidentally move too soon or something like that and your steps are off, and the game can sometimes tell you that R has died when you take the damage. And sometimes when that happens, goofy things happen. Not up to and including the game renaming one of your characters. And what it usually does is it changes the first letter of their name, which obviously 3 of the characters are only 1-letter name. But so Petrus, like a pretty common one is that Petrus gets renamed to Netrus. And so we have REO Netrus wagon instead. Or Reno instead of Repo. But I just started learning how to do this with custom names, and I remember one time that glitch happened to me, and I had my 2 pilgrims named Wario and Waluigi, because why not? And Waluigi got renamed. No, it was Wario. Wario got renamed. The W changed to a U, so it was Uario. So O is almost done here. We got 7 more levels to go, and then we're gonna go finish the game. Well, we're going to save and then go finish the game, because we are going to re-engage Seedlock after this so that we have a manageable RNG. And you're going to see why we don't level up with Seedlock because I will actually gain a few levels with it through the end of the game. And that is actually because all stat increases are 1 on Seed Lock, which is not handy for gaining HP, because you don't hit nearly as many vitality thresholds to gain good HP when it's only going up by 1 every time. So you won't see any like 10-point max HP increases like that. Alright, here is the final level for O. And we're done. So now we're going to go ahead and dip into Remolder. And the reason we're doing this is because Remolder has an inn very close to the front door. And so we're going to go use it because we still have our level 1 MP and HP. And that's stupid. So we want to get our newly acquired max HP and MP. And now we're going to use our newly acquired return spell to go back to Eliahan so that we can save our game and reinstitute Seed Lock. So we're going to say leave member just to save our game. Reset. And we're going to institute Seed Lock again and start our game back up. So now what we're going to do is Petrus still has that Armor of Radiance. We're going to give it to R. And then we're going to equip all the things on R. And then R is going to cast Return back to Remolder. And we're going to head on out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stop right here. Have R now cast the heals, and he's going to cast it twice. And that's going to advance RNG to skip an encounter. Now we're going to get to stroll for a little while. And hey, we got an impasse here. So what we're going to do is totally use our completely legitimately acquired Rainbow Drop. No nefarious gains here. And it's going to create that Rainbow Bridge. Isn't that Rainbow Bridge cool? It's totally rainbow-like. And if any of you have ever played Dragon Warrior 1, you'll recognize this island. And Remolder, actually, so. And here is our friend at Charlotte Castle. And much like every other place in the game we've been, the random encounter monsters are all on break. So we're just going to stroll through Charlotte Castle for a minute. So we're in a point now where the step route is based on tile movement. So I could stand still for like 5 minutes if I wanted to, and it would be fine. I can also accidentally open and close the menu, and it would be fine, as long as I don't move any tiles. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to have R cast heal twice. Then he's going to use our Wizard's Ring 3 times. And then he's going to cast heal 7 times. And there's number 7. And now we're going to have O use the magic key to open the door. And oh no, that closed in behind us. Oh no, we're trapped. What do we do? I guess we'll just walk around and like, oh hey, look at that. And they have just said that we'll have to defeat them first. And guess what? That actually is a big clue on how to win. Because we have this cool spell called Defeat. And look at that. And so now we're going to cast heal once to advance RNG again. We're going to fight some more of these. And we're still going to cast Defeat. And then R is going to gain a level, and you're going to see all the ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So now we're going to cast heal twice. and then use the ring twice. So the wizard ring is a cool item if you aren't familiar. Using it as an item like this restores some MP to the user, or the person who uses it, but it does have a percent chance to break. Thankfully for Seed Lock, it's not going to do that. At least not in the amount of times we use it. And so that heal was to advance RNG to a way that would make sure that defeat actually did its job. And so you see all these ones. You might see some max HP or MP increases of more than one just because of the threshold of vitality and intelligence. Whoops, what was that? And so O just gained a new spell, which is super convenient because we're about to use it right now. Step Guard. O just learned it, and we need it for here. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to stop and search. And gosh, a stairway! And so now I've actually got to focus, because this is a pretty tough part, because like, there's these tiles, and when you step on them, they force you the direction of the lighter colored side. So I got to really focus. And what? Did somebody say something? Did you say something? No? Okay. Yeah, are you sure? Okay. Or you just hold up from where I started, and it just takes you through there. There's a webcam on, I can do that joke. So we're going to stop here real quick, and we're going to cast Heal 6 times, and use the ring twice. And that is the 6th time there, so now we'll use the ring twice. Okay. So now we're going to move along. We are almost through this castle. How about that? So now we're going to go ahead and use the key to open this door. Now we're going to come up here and do a handy little square for RNG purposes. And then we're going to come up here and look, a hero is fighting a monster alone. Let's just stand here and not help. Especially since Ortega is your main character's dad. Let's just not help him. Why not? Rip Ortega. Press F, pay respects, please. And he totally doesn't recognize his own kid, Father of the Year. But there's no time to grieve, Dr. Jones. We got a world to save. So I feel like I don't know if that is if that's how it goes down in the Famicom version of this game. But this game was re-released on the Super Famicom in Japan, and you know there's been a fan translation of that done. And in the fan translation, it makes a point to say that Ortega can't really hear or see after getting his stuff kicked in. So hopefully that where I use that heal doesn't matter, because I was supposed to do it before I went down the stairs. I guess we'll find out. Because I'm making pretty good time otherwise. So this is Zoma. He's kind of a nerd. He's one of those classic villains that tries to solve his problems by throwing his underlings at it. But at least now we'll get to get some revenge on King Hydra. So he's going to cast heal on himself, parry, and then come back and cast heal all on the wizard, and then parry, and then the wizard is also going to parry. Okay, yeah, the RNG looks good. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to use the Sword of Kings as an item. We're going to parry and then come back into his turn and use Infermost. He's going to use heal us, and then he's going to cast Ice Bolt. So the Sword of Kings, when used as an item, also casts Infermost. So you'll see similar damage coming out of it. So now we're going to use the Sword of Kings again. We're going to parry, come back, use Infermost. He's going to cast Revive on E, and then the Wizard's going to cast Blaze. So E's going to take a double physical to the face and die. So that's what the Revive's for. And because Petrus went first, E still gets to go, even though he died, which is pretty good. And then we're going to use the Sword of Kings one more time. Cast Infermost, and then fight, and Father Avenged. So now we're going to do a little bit of stuff here. We're going to have R use the Wizard Ring once. Then we're going to have him give it to Petrus. And have Petrus use it twice because he's pretty low on MP. And then have, not E, Petrus give it to E. And E is going to use it twice because he is also low on MP. And now we're going to move along. And hey, look, we actually do have a Baramos to fight. So here we're going to fight, parry, come back and use Infermost, parry, come back and use Infermost, and the Wizard is going to use one of his herbs on R. And so this fight, casually, is kind of scary because Baramos has the opportunity to go anywhere from 1 to 3 times a turn. But with RNG Seedlock, he's only going to go once, so he's kind of a pushover. He also has a hidden internal heal of 100 HP per turn, and that's kind of annoying too. So we're going to do the Infermosts again, and the Wizard's going to parry, because the Wizard's pretty hurt. And he's dead. 2 turns. Bye-bye. So this is kind of like a boss gauntlet here. We're going to get 4 bosses. Well, 3 bosses and Zoma. So 4 bosses. So here what we're going to do is we're going to have E cast Heal More on himself. And then have him cast it on Petrus. And we're going to move on. And you might be thinking to yourself, why am I going into this boss fight with my Wizard at 13 HP? That's a good question. Oh, yeah, sorry. That's a good question because between Surround and the RNG Seedlock, Baramos Gonus here, or Zombie Baramos, is going to do a whole lot of that. Swing and miss. So there's no reason to parry or anything because he's just going to miss some more. And now he's not even going to get a turn, so. Okay, so now we're going to have E use the ring one more time. And then cast Heal More on O. So there you go, now he's healed. And then cast it on R. Now we have everybody at full. We're going to go play with Zoma here. And enjoy the music. This is why the HP thing I was talking about is so important. Watch this. Look at R's HP. Look at E's HP. Look at Petrus's HP. And I'm sorry, epileptics. It's much worse on the TV than it is on stream, I assure you. And yes, we're healing Zoma to death. to do this twice. It doesn't do damage. It removes all buffs and all debuffs from everybody in the fight, including himself. So, no damage. And rip Zoma. And this will be another kind of quirk of the seedlock file. These holes should be opening up kind of randomly, and they're just in this diagonal line because of seedlock. And then all of a sudden it just goes and then explodes into holes everywhere. So now we got to escape. Now, step count doesn't matter at all, obviously. I can do whatever I want. But it's still a speed run. And we're going to probably put a huge dent in that estimate. So if you'll indulge me in the credits, because it's kind of cool. The song's good. And for those who aren't familiar, or as familiar with the Dragon Quest / Dragon Warrior franchise, it drops a big knowledge bomb at you at the very end.
Fit in a couple of donations.
Sure.
The Pink Neckos donates $1. That is to name Reynald Disappointment in Darkest Dungeon. And Commander donates $2 and says, a true man on the mission.
Thank you guys for that. So we have saved the world. Now we're going to cast Return to go back to Tanteal, which was never in our list to begin with. But fun fact, if you saw real quick there, Charlotte Castle was no longer on the map. So this is a little fun fact about this game. So the game removed all castles from the overworld after I won. So in order to still be a castle to go back to, they had to put this castle inside this town. Otherwise, it would have gone away too. Get ready on time. So get ready for sprite flicker and lag. Okay. And time. Thank you. I feel like this is kind of a Chewie doesn't get a medal moment, because like the king is all like, you are the hero, you are Erdrick, you are this. But what about these other three guys? They kind of helped out too, you know. No recognition for the pilgrims or the wizard. They're Chewie. So I hope you enjoyed the Dragon Warrior 3 any percent speedrun. 51:43 is pretty good, especially with the marathon safety I put into it. My best time with this set of strategies is I think a 49:57 or so not too bad. My best time using the fastest route is a 47:16, I believe, which is only like 2 minutes and change shy of world record. I do have second place in this game right now in this category.
Coming in so far under estimate means you knocked us very close to back on schedule. We weren't behind by too much, but now we are very close.
Glad I could help. These credits take a little bit, so... This music's really good, though. I like this music. And actually, in the Japanese version, the Japanese runners actually sing a song to this in Japanese. I don't know the words, so I'm not going to do it. So other than a couple of places like That's a Liahan, we're going to see a whole bunch of places I never went.
Donation real quick.
What's that?
Donation real quick.
Go for it.
Cool. Commander donates $1 and says, take a deep breath and get your balance as... Oh, it's a Yoshi. Can we ride him?
Where's the Yoshi at? I see this one. Here's the Yoshi. I don't know if you can ride him though, he's kind of small. And he can sit here. Well, probably not, he's just gonna fall off my shoulder. We also have an Alolan Vulpix. Oh. That's actually really good. Wow. Yeah. Yoshi. There's a lot of people to thank, apparently.
All right, next up we have Castlevania N64, ran by Ty2358. So we'll be prepping for that in a bit. Stay tuned.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and we actually got through it this time. First try. Completely first try.
Thanks for your run so much. I
Yeah,
enjoy
thanks.
them.
And yeah, so I mean, if you end up deciding to follow me on Twitch, I stream 3 nights a week or 3 days a week, and we do, you know, all sorts of speed runs and casual stuff. Currently playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on Sundays, and so we all like to have a lot of fun. If you happen to follow and decide you want to get involved in Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest speedrunning, I can give you the link. There's just one Discord for all Dragon Quest speedrunning, and there's a lot of knowledgeable people and good resources there with which to learn these runs that I would be more than happy to pass along. Like I said, all these places I never went. I never even got a boat. How about that? Did you have fun? Good. I saw. That was a good Yoshi. You did a good job. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You stinker. It's gotta be close to being done. Yeah, it's getting close, I think. Can't be too many places it wants to show or more people to thank. It's good. This music's really good. I mean, I should learn the song. I run this dang game. It's just in Japanese, and since I don't speak or read Japanese, it's gonna take me some time to pick up. Hey, there's that Romilly place I walked by, but we didn't go there. I liked how there was also a little quick interlude with Dragon Warrior 1 music when it showed Eliahan, or not Eliahan, but Tantegel and Remolder. That was pretty good. Okay, here we go. And that is not the tower I went to. And that's actually Hawksness from the Alefgard area, which we also didn't go to. All these places. Yep, we're almost done. And here is the big knowledge drop for those of you who aren't aware. To be continued in Dragon Warrior. Dragon Warrior 3 is a prequel to Dragon Warrior 1. The character of the hero, our character R, ends up being Erdrick, who you are the descendant of in Dragon Warrior 1. So pretty cool little tie-in there. Thank you guys for having me on, and enjoy the next speed run.
For that run.